The secular spirit in the spiritual life. Geronda. Sometimes you say of a person that he sees things through a European lens and not through the Eastern spirit. What do you mean by that? I mean that he sees things with European eyes, with European logic without faith in human terms. And what is the Eastern spirit? The day spring from the east has visited us from on high, which is to say, when I say that someone has caught the Eastern spirit and abandoned the European, I mean that he has left behind logic, rationalism, and has instead taken hold of simplicity and piety, because that is the orthodox spirit within which Christ rests, simplicity and piety. Today, even spiritual people are often lacking in simplicity, the sacred simplicity that comforts the soul. If we do not renounce the secular spirit and do not adapt to the simple way, in other words, if we do not stop being preoccupied with how others see us or with what they say about us, we will never experience kinship with God and the saints. But for this to happen, we need to move to the spiritual realm. The more we live with simplicity, especially in a koinobium, the fewer the bumps from our passions, and the smoother we become. Otherwise, we end up creating a fake person. This is why we must always strive to get rid of the secular carnival and become angels. Do you know the difference between people who live worldly lives and those who live spiritually? Those who follow the world try hard to keep their yards clean, but seem not to mind that their houses are full of trash. So they sweep their yards clean and throw the trash inside. They think people can only see what is in my yard, they cannot see what is in my house. In other words, it's fine to have rubbish inside but not outside. All they want is to be admired by everyone. By contrast, spiritual people care about having the interior of their houses clean. They are not interested in what people will say or think, because Christ lives in their houses and in their hearts, not in their yards. Sometimes, however, even spiritual people live in a superficial, secular way, or to be more exact, in the manner of the Pharisees. Instead of being concerned about how they will go to paradise, how they will get closer to God, they care about making a good impression in this life. Instead of experiencing paradise in their life, they are robbing themselves of all spiritual joys. They remain earthly people. Thus they strive to live a spiritual life in a secular manner, but inside they are empty. God is not present in their heart. Unfortunately, the secular spirit has had a great impact on spiritual people as well. If even spiritual people act and think in a secular way, what is to happen with those who live secular lives? When I asked some spiritual people to help drug-addicted youths, their answer was, if we try to establish a home for drug addicts, no one will donate his property to us. This is why we are building a retirement home. I'm not saying that retirement homes are not needed. Of course they are. But if we start thinking this way, these institutions will not be charitable institutions. They will be sinkable institutions. People do not understand that worldly success is spiritual failure.